What's up? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. So here I have a further update for the Marvel Legends Haslab Engine of Vengeance, and this has been a very interesting watch. With 16 days left to go, this has dropped backers again. It has gone down to 5,147 backers. It has lost nearly 1,000 backers since the Robbie Reyes debacle. It picked up a couple of backers when it came to Mephisto, but not very much. It picked up a couple of backers when it came to the Goblin Queen, but not very much. And then steadily declined after that. This is a wonderful message that's been sent to Hasbro, and panic buttons are firmly being hit now. So much so that they wheeled this out, pardon the pun, at New York Comic Con and still didn't get the required amount of backers. It is fascinating. Now, the shields have gone into overtime when it comes to this, and you've seen some try to scuttle away now and try to save face. I'm talking about Shartimus Prime there in particular. That's a fella that was telling people he was backing this, and then because the tide was turning and his comment section were turning against him, did he go, oh, I backed out 46,000 views for that and for doing the right thing that you should have been talking about from the beginning. Yet what happened was you saw the writing on the wall, you saw the way people were talking to you and starting to wise up to you. Anything else that he does now when it comes to a crowdfunder, people should be very skeptical about, because I was one of the people along with Elite Legends and Talker Art that were straight out the gates going, this is overinflated, don't buy this. Do what you want with your money, for sure, but this is setting a very dangerous precedent for this company, which has been allowed by the likes of Shartimus Prime, and because he decided to back out just only last week there, because, oh, I don't think it was worth it. Did you not think it was worth it though to begin with? Because here's the thing. The baseline figure, the baseline product that you have here should be selling you on the Haslab. Now, to me, a multi-billion-dollar company that is looking to crowdfund these figures is absolutely ridiculous. But that comes with a lot of different problems that have happened over the last number of years, which I've seen in forums, which are people specifically, and this is not taking a shot at America, but specifically in America when these things are released and people go, I'll wait for that to go on clearance. Do you not think that these people, which they quite clearly have been doing, as you have seen now with the likes of Dan Yoon, Short Round there, Gangster Dan as he's been called by Elite Legends, on Twitter, talking to fans and interacting with fans, and again, the shields as well that like to be interacted with, so that they get the views. Now, here's the thing. What has happened is, a lot of people have wised up to that, and a lot of people have seen what's going down. They've also seen this figure as a repaint and slight retool of the long shot figure, and it doesn't come with these butterfly joints that are absolutely to be expected on a figure nowadays. Even Todd McFarlane is putting butterfly joints on figures now, and he has to be talked about these things. Now, getting on to the most interesting part of this story. What has happened is they've revealed Mephisto, didn't move the needle. They revealed the Goblin Queen, didn't move the needle. What has happened, and inadvertently this has happened because you have goofballs that are working at this company, as has quite clearly been evidenced by the G.I. Joe brand team, specifically Emily, that's there talking about people's pronouns, absolute ridiculous stuff, but has been quite clearly evidenced by the Star Wars team that when they failed, because now everyone knows, when they failed with that Haslab Rancor, it sent a very direct message to the company, and it sent a very direct message to the fans, which was, hey guys, we're going to give you an exclusive Luke Skywalker figure if you back this Haslab. Fans said no thanks, and they said, the Luke Skywalker figure is coming out anyway. What has happened? The likes of you and me have seen that and have said to ourselves, right, if this thing fails, that single figure is still going to come out. So that's the way I'm looking at Mephisto. It's the way I'm looking at Goblin Queen, and I'm sure you're looking at it the same way. I would actually even say that Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, has a very solid chance of coming out in a mainline. They've already done it now with the retro Ghost Rider with Johnny Blaze without a bike. So they will do it here again. Now that's wild to me to think that they released Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider without a bike. Oh, it's on retro card. It's grossly overinflated though. It's something like €35 here in Ireland for that. And I don't know how much it is in dollars in America, but it's definitely in and around the 30 mark. You're getting a McFarlane Toys figure that's 7 inches for less than that. So this has steadily dropped backers, which is fantastic to see, and people are putting the foot down, and it sets a very good precedent going forward that fans will say, I'm not paying that for that. 3 Haslabs on the bounce there that are owned basically by Disney in Star Wars Rancor, Star Wars Riva Lightsaber, and the Marvel Legends Haslab Engine of Vengeance. Marvel Legends, and in particular Marvel and Star Wars, are owned by Disney. I would say the mouse is irate with the current situation, but they only have themselves to blame. To me, what would have happened and what should have happened if the marketing team got ahead of this and understood what fans were looking for, which was Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider with the car, Carter Slade, Ghost Rider with the horse, and either Johnny Blaze with his bike or Dan Ketch with his bike or Vengeance with his bike, and then probably Mephisto or Blackheart then, to seemingly follow the value of this here. Because if you back this and this hits 9,000 on the last day, that's all you're getting. It's an absolute joke. Now, I've been sent a rumour, and take this with a grain of salt, because they are now teasing that there's going to be another addition to this that they are going to reveal. To me, panic mode is probably setting in now, and they probably will have to throw a rider in along with a vehicle. They can quite easily do that, I think, because they already have the mould from the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider that came out not too long ago with the blue stripes. They can do that quite easily and just have like a new Dan Ketch figure that they will quite clearly just slightly remold and retool from something else. But to me, this was the big one. Now, this coincides with closing in on Halloween, also with Werewolf by Night coming out and being successful, so monsters are clearly on the cards. But to me, the way they talked about Blade might give this rumour a bit of credence. And this was sent to me. I won't reveal the source, they want to remain anonymous. But take this with a massive grain of salt, that they want to include Dracula in this set. Now, when they talked about persuasions of characters, this is perhaps one of them. And I think this makes sense because from what we heard beforehand, which is the Mahershala Ali movie Blade, is supposed to feature Dracula as the main villain, played by Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander in The Boys. Now, this would make perfect sense to me. However, the delays in the Mahershala Ali Blade movie might impact what they put in with this Haslab. I'm just spitballing here when it comes to this. This, to me, could quite easily be made of an awful lot of reuse and slight remolding and retooling. And Dracula is a character, particularly I would say in Marvel Legends, that could gather a lot of steam from people that are not even that interested in Marvel Legends. This is a character with widespread appeal. So to me, if it was a design like this, I think it'd pick up backers. If it's a design like Dracula that you've been seeing for like the original of him with the cape and stuff like that, I don't think that that's a runner. I do think something like this would be an absolute runner. So what do you think? Do you think that this could push people over the line, or do you think people will further look at this and say, nah, that'll come out as a single release eventually? Because in my view, if you've got a video game, or indeed, for example, the movie that's coming out of Blade and it features Dracula, you know you're going to get a comic accurate Dracula at some stage then. And it's the same with every other character that's here. They have held on and held on and held on with Mephisto for no good reason, particularly when you look at what McFarlane is doing. Sabak just being released there for the Black Adam movie, Etrigan the Demon, the Undead Superman, the Undead Batman, and the variety of other characters that are out there now that have been released by McFarlane on store shelves, no problem. What's also happening in the meantime is McFarlane is talking about releasing a 7-inch scale Batwing from the Michael Keaton 1989 movie that is looking like it's going to come in cheaper than this and features lights and possible sounds. That's going to be fantastic to see if he does that, because it will blow this out of the water and people will say, hang on here for a sec, which they should. Why are we crowdfunding this vehicle and this character when that's $1 billion company? Why is that happening? And now more and more people are saying, hang on here for a sec, this crowdfunding idea is a bad idea. I'm also going to say something as an aside. Have you noticed how many figures that Hasbro are putting up? This is something that Elite Legends has talked about. How many Hasbro products they're putting up there for you to pre-order basically a year in advance. So kind of like little mini Haslabs there to see how many they have to produce. That is a speculation now that is going to become ever more increasing, I think, in the community with the way they're going about this. They're talking about the likes of, windowless packaging for the environment. Absolute codswallop in my view. But what I think will happen is they will gauge how many units they need to make on pre-orders. But you do look at the G.I. Joe classified Serpentor debacle and say to yourself, what's that about? But they did get a grossly inflated price for that Serpentor, and they will release that in a mainline figure eventually, single carded themselves. So swings and roundabouts, if you want to wait and you get the single carded one, that's happy days. It's the same here with Robbie Reyes. I would say that this would probably come out as a single carded figure. I think they would probably strip it back if this was to be released at mass retail and just be the card with no lights. I wouldn't be shocked by that if this fails, because enough R&D has gone into this that I think they will have to do something with it. Like, to me, the Riva lightsaber will come out eventually on its own. It'll probably be at Galaxy's Edge or something like that. I also think the Rancor will come out, whether it be a Book of Boba Fett coloured Rancor, where a Boba Fett exclusive figure that's coming in some sort of mega pack. I think that will actually happen. I fully believe it. I think that'll probably happen in the next year or two. It might even be an SDCC exclusive. You just wouldn't know, because these things have been reused. The only thing that I couldn't see coming out again is probably the Sail Barge and Unicron. Maybe the Razor Crest has a very good chance as well at being re-released, because they have said with the terms and conditions on these Haslabs that they might not quite have the finished product looking the same way that these do, which has been evidenced by the Haslab Unicron. Galactus seems to be going well so far, and the Sentinel seems to be going well so far, but also are figures, in my view, that could be at store retail shelves. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments about that. Would Dracula get this over the line for you? Do you think that you would get to the 9,000 backers and beyond that if they were to unveil Dracula? Again, like I said, this is a rumour. Take it with a grain of salt. I am not confirming this to be absolutely true, because from what I understand, from what I've been told, this is currently in flux. This Haslab has set off panic buttons at Hasbro, because the mouse is very unhappy when it comes to this, and I'm not surprised. So anyway, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel, and I'll talk to you later. Good luck.